Alright, what is up guys? Welcome back to another Zoids review. This time we have a truly legendary piece to look at today. This absolute monstrosity is the Death Stinger, and anybody that's seen the Chaotic Century anime should be very familiar with this guy. It's one of the, large-sized Titan Zoids that is nearly indestructible, and we're going to be talking about it quite a bit here today. So this is another one of the Zoids I got from my friend Brad as he was selling off his collection. Got it for a really good deal. It is mostly complete. It is missing one of the rear claws, like this right here. It's missing from this side, and then on the actual cannon itself, it's missing one of the guns that makes the side part of the tail pincer thing. So other than that, it is complete. It does not have the box or the instruction manual, and this is the Hasbro release for the anime. And we'll go ahead and talk a little about the history of this kit. So this kit was not one of the original Zoids Battle Story Zoids from back in the 80s or anything like that. This was an original design for the anime. So this did not come out until 1999, the Takara version. But so there was no 80s version or anything like that. This is the original iteration of this kit, released by Takara Tomy in 1999 and then by Hasbro again in 2002. So if you bought the American release, this is the one that you got. There was another iteration of this that was colored in like a pinkish and purplish color with some metallic base a little bit later as sort of a special release around 2004. And then this kit was given a Kotobukiya high-end master model version, which is pretty expensive and hard to find, and is one of the biggest HMMs that are out there aside from the Gojulus the Ogre being the largest HMM. But you can probably get that guy for maybe $200 or something like that for the HMM Death Stinger. Let me know if you guys are able to find it out there for any cheaper than that. And that's basically the extent of it in terms of the history of this kit. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at it. So this guy is absolutely massive and has a ton of little features to it. Thankfully, he's pretty stable. I'm going to try to show you the underside of it. Again, mostly all of this right here, this whole panel, is mostly the motor because this guy has a ton of moving parts. So it feels pretty stable because it's so much solid on the underside of the chassis there. And he has quite a bit of moving parts as well. So the front claws right here will pop open to reveal a gun right there. Really cool little hidden feature. Of course, the blades slide out on the side. Part of the motorized feature means that the front mandibles will move, as well as the claws will open and close like that. Really, really cool. The shield over the cockpit will open. It has the translucent visor right there. You can see through the mandibles, and then when you lift that up, you have this really creepy looking insect face for the scorpion there, even though scorpions aren't insects. Revealing the android pilot in the center as per usual. You can close that back down. It kind of just fits nicely in that groove right there, and then this panel also kind of raises up a little bit. All of the legs are not really articulated, like they do move, but it technically moves on wheels on the bottom. The tail is articulated in 3 points, so that moves, actually 4 points. The whole tail is articulated, which is really cool, so you can get kind of all kinds of crazy motions out of that. And then, of course, it has the cannon in the center, which is the charged particle beam, two stabilizers that fold out like that, and then a cannon on each side of the charged particle beam to kind of form that array when it gets ready to fire. And then this unit back here actually is the battery pack for it, for the motorized function, which it does have batteries in it, so we're going to see that today, and hopefully it doesn't malfunction on us. But this is also like a concussion cannon in the game. So I don't think we ever see the Death Stinger use this in the anime or anything, but it is a usable weapon in the Zoids Versus games. Let's see if we can get that motorized function to work. We're just gonna set him down and let him have at it. That is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Wow, I'm surprised it works so well. As it proceeds to fall apart on me as it moves. So on that note, we'll probably take the batteries out and make sure that this kit is preserved. Let me put all the missing pieces back on it. Okay, we are back in 100% good shape. So this back leg fell off just by using the motorized function. And yeah, I'm going to take the batteries out now. But I'm really happy to see that it works well, and it actually looks like a really cool walking cycle that the motor has enabled us to have. So I think that's pretty cool. So in terms of the anime, so this guy, of course, first made its appearance in the last arc of the Chaotic Century storyline during the Guardian Force saga. And Hiltz, who had been one of the antagonists up to that point, one of the other organoid users, along with Van and Raven and, can't remember, Reese, that's the other one, managed to take control of this thing, albeit temporarily. This Zoid was basically perfected for the organoid system, and was created by fusing the two cores of two other Scorpion-type Zoids together. And this thing was basically indestructible during Chaotic Century, so there was very little that could do any damage to it. All regular ground force Zoids from both factions were not able to damage this thing at all. It's also completely aquatic. It can go under the ocean and swim very quickly, way more mobile than the Death Soarer, and it can burrow under the rock and pop out at any given place. It's much more mobile when using its charged particle beam. It's much faster on foot with its legs. It has a variety of other close quarters melee attacks with its claws in the front, making it arguably as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than the Death Soarer, because this thing could burrow and then pop up on the other side of a city and then just nuke that city with its charged particle beam and then burrow again, and it would be gone before you even knew about it. So essentially, everyone's effort at this part of the story was focused on destroying this thing and preventing it from causing any more damage. So that's what initiated the gravity cannon strategy with the Ultrasaurus, which was able to kind of temporarily disable this thing. But if it wasn't for the fact that Hiltz kind of went all crazy and, you know, sacrificed what he did to allow the Death Soarer to be resurrected, this thing may have never been defeated. So I don't think they actually defeated this thing technically, if I remember correctly, in Guardian Force. Maybe I remember it wrong. But yeah, this thing was just incredibly, incredibly powerful. And it is a boss that is also playable in the Zoids Versus games. It's playable in the second game, Zoids Versus 2, known as Battle Legends here in America. If you guys finish the game and then go to the bonus maps in the Versus mode, you can actually play as this thing, and it's pretty cool. It also has a couple of variant designs in the Zoid Saga game, but it's a pretty difficult boss to defeat in the Zoids Versus games because of its speed and its power, and its strong melee attacks and the cannon right here on its back is what make it the most formidable. Its charged particle beam is pretty easy to dodge, but still incredibly strong nonetheless. And the scale between your Zoid and this thing in the game is much more accurate to the model kit scale instead of the anime scale, because this thing, much like the Death Soarer, had a laughably out of proportion and inconsistent scale compared to other Zoids in the anime. So in certain scenes, it's big enough to hold smaller Zoids in its claws, and other scenes it's not. And of course, here in the model kit, we would not get a scale quite that big, although this is a very, very large kit. So we'll go ahead and do a side-by-side comparison here. This is a Kotobukiya HMM Command Wolf, the Irvine variant, which I'll review one day. And as you can see, it is much, much bigger than that. And this is a 1/72nd scale. It's the exact same scale as the Hasbro and Takara Tomy Command Wolf, so that is a consistent scale with all of the Zoids. And of course, this Death Stinger is just utterly massive compared to it. But like I said, in the anime, this thing was so large, it could actually hold a Command Wolf like that in its claws. So the scale is definitely not accurate there at all. Very, very similar to the Death Soarer in that regard. So, believe it or not, this thing also made an appearance in New Century Zero. So the Backdraft group actually acquired the Stinger tail from this thing and was using the charged particle beam from it for their own purposes. Kind of a pretty cool little bit of lore in there from the previous series coming back, which I wish they would have done a little bit more of. But yeah, the Death Stinger directly appears in the next series. And that is it for the Death Stinger's anime appearances. It has quite a bit to do in the Chaotic Century manga as well, which I think more and more people are starting to show an interest in and translate. So hopefully we can figure out what the total storyline is for the Death Stinger there. But other than that, that's about all I have to say about it. Again, very, very cool kit. If you guys can find one of these, definitely get your hands on it. It is one of the holy grails of any Zoids collector, Zoid collector's collection, and didn't really show off the claws back here too well, but they've got some articulation on them as well, which is pretty cool. And these fins on the back here also move. I'm assuming they flare out when he's getting ready to fire the charged particle beam. That would only make sense. Yeah, very cool. Also check out the HMM version if you can find it. It's very expensive, it's very large, but it is, like I said, one of those top tier HMMs, the second largest HMM that they ever made. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. We have a few more Zoids to review, including the 2 bonus ones I found at the Super Happy Fun sale during AWA, which are some very, very nice kits and a personal centerpiece, holy grail of my collection, if I do say so myself. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.